stock of the day was an order date. As I said, we got distracted. Thought we'd take a look at JB Hi-Fi. Again, another really popular stock here on the call. Reporting a slide in first half net profit, consumers pulled back on discretionary spending amid elevated inflation, though the result was ahead of market expectations. Half year sales down 2%. Company said trading environment became more challenging over the half year as competition rose and there was increased on-floor discounting. Dividend trimmed down to $1.58 a share from $1.97. Mathan outdid market expectations. What do you see the result?
Oh, look, I don't think retail was going to struggle on the result because the last period is, as good as it gets for me. I think it'd be interesting to see how consumers do in 2024. I struggle to see them holding up because we've seen the rates go up and that's beginning to come through. JB Hi-Fi is, one of the top performers in the retail sector. Quality players, and all the quality ones have
the
done
market
well.
like today though. Look at that sort of share price was coming down in anticipation of today's result, and now it's popped back up to
look,
back to a 5-year high.
Yeah, it was around $60, I think, a month ago, and it's now bounced back to where it was. For me, look, these are classic cyclicals. This is one of the best performers out there. I think apart from Chemist Warehouse, these guys shove more stuff in front of your eyes, and you buy random things that you don't need. So they're good at what they do. They're in the perfect cycle, but this is a cyclical. And one thing I have learned is you buy these kind of retail stocks when interest rates are going up because people are spending too much money. When interest rates are going down, people are not spending that much money. So I would say as good as it gets. I mean, all the weak retailers haven't really bounced as much. These guys have done well. You are getting, it, and everyone knows it. It's not like it's a surprise in JB Hi-Fi. So I'd be looking somewhere else. But
so you're selling?
I'd be selling. Yeah, it's a classic cycle sell.
Gaurav, would you sell?
Well, having gloated about Ordinate, I think I should take my comeuppance on JB. I've been wrong on this stock for a long time. And it's a really curious business, actually. I think it's a good example of a business where the market position dominates some of the business basics. Because when I look at JB, I see a business with a really unsophisticated distribution and network strategy. So they don't have any DCs. Suppliers distribute inventory directly to the store, an incredibly inefficient way to do stock management. And then that makes it very difficult to launch an online business successfully. So if you're wondering why jbhifi.com is not one of the dominant online retailers, is because they have to. Some poor staff member has to go into the messy back room, pick out the stock you want, put it in a parcel, and shove it back. That's how they do online orders.
Just to jump in, you are exactly right. Whenever I try to buy stuff there, and I want to buy something a bit more unique, you realize actually they're not that well coordinated as you would think for a tech selling platform. Doesn't actually.
It's a very simple. I would call it an unsophisticated retailer. Another example is I think the results of the last 5 or 6 years have ballooned because the way we buy mobile phones has changed from buying into the carriers, where it used to be, you walked into your Telstra store, you get a 50% subsidy on your handset you pay by the month. Now everyone goes into the retail point and you purchase your phone at the retail level. So billions of dollars of industry sales have gone from the carriers
just buy
into the retail channel. And JB Hi-Fi is so dominant in the retail channel. Think about who's their competition. Harvey Norman is, if I'm critical of JB Hi-Fi, I'm scathing of Harvey Norman. That is a poor retailer whose results are very difficult to explain. But they benefit from that. So look, I've looked at those points, and I think those points have dominated my thinking, and I've missed that we've been talking about monopolies. This is another one. Who's going to compete with JB Hi-Fi? They've locked up all the store locations. They're the lowest cost retailer in the world. That's probably good enough. So yes, I'm happy to take my lumps on JB. I've been wrong about it, but what an extraordinary business it is.
So what would you be doing now at $60?
I would be holding it. I think this is one of these stocks that you just hold for a long time because look, the valuation.
It's a cyclical. It's not an ordinate. I mean, I get
Yep.
your argument with ordinate. It's a
Yep.
structural growth. Sorry, we're just going to. But it's a cyclical.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I used to be that way.
Come
all the time as
on,
well.
you can't be buying
But
JB Hi-Fi at $60.
This is I'm not saying buying it, but I would quietly hold it. This is a stock you can put in your bottom drawer and hold for a very long time.
They
the
are
valuation
good.
is not demanding. This is an extraordinary
No.
business, an
I
extraordinary
will
market.
argue with that, because when valuations are not in a retail, I want ugly valuations,
Yeah.
because
No,
if
that's true
if
for
it's
that.
cheap, that one everyone knows.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. We've had this argument.
But I think this is, this is not some up and coming grower.
Yeah.
This is a very dominant business. I think it's really hard to disrupt. It's a bit like a Woolies or a supermarket.
Is it hard to disrupt?
Yeah.
I think when the
How long has Amazon been around?
Yeah.
Amazon, the most sophisticated distribution network in the world, has not managed to make a dent on JB Hi-Fi.
The thing with JB Hi-Fi in Australia, it's unique. We have the distribution doesn't really work in Australia. We get ripped off in everything, and we have no choice. And let me tell you, as someone who was born overseas, when you come here, you go, what the? And it is true. And JB Hi is very good.
Yeah.
But if the consumer, I honestly think on the numbers, I can't see how consumers get through 2024 without something dramatic changing.
I'm sure that's true as well. I just think that if you're a long-term investor, in 10 years' time, this stock will be as dominant as
I don't
more
disagree.
profitable than
I
it
think
is
the
today.
2 or 3 big guys is Super Retail, JB Hi-Fi, and Premier, right? They will always be there. Now, my thing is, it's not about how dominant they're going to have off the pie, but I think the pie will shrink.
Right.
It's a cyclical play.
Okay.